Just close your eyes, sit comfortably, take a few deep breaths. Allow your body to relax. And maybe some of us or all of us are going through some times where it seems nothing is making sense or nothing is working. So take a deep breath in and let go. And just become aware of what is it.
Hello.
Just become aware of what is it that is working and what is it that is not working. Especially make a list in your mind of what is it that is not working. And maybe there is something that is topping the list. Something very important, something very dear, something very crucial that is not working. It could be money, it could be a relationship, it could be health, it could be some emotional turmoil. What is it that is not working? Let's just become aware of that. What is not working and what is not making sense to me in my life? To build awareness, the best thing to do is taking deep breaths. Take deep breaths and become mindful of what is not making sense to me, what is not working. And very gently, when you become aware of this, very gently come back, open your eyes, and you have sheets of paper and pen. Make a note of these things. Maybe there is a list. Probably circle one of the things that is topping the list. So take about a minute to write down what is not making sense or what is not working. So take about a minute without any judgments, without thinking, just write down what is it that is not working or not making sense. Keep taking deep breaths while you're writing. And maybe it's a long list, but for now, just focus on one thing which is not working. Once you've done that, take a moment to ask yourself, is it really true? Is it really not working? Write down, is it true? Is it true that it's not working or it's not making sense? Is it really true? So for this, I would like to share a story of, it's actually a poem, which is Footsteps on the Sand. Now the poem is actually a short poem, but the poem is about this man, and this man says, God, he's speaking to God. This man is telling, God, I had a pact with you, I had a deal with you that you're always going to walk beside me, always. But when I look back at my life, it is as if I'm walking on the shore of the beach. I'm walking on the beach or on the shore. And every time I've seen my footsteps and your footsteps, two pairs of footsteps. But when I look back, every time there was a storm, every time I was in difficulty or in bad times, I've only noticed two footsteps, which only noticed two footsteps. So he asks God, God, why did you leave me? In my times of difficulties, why did you leave me, God? It's not fair. We had a deal, right? So God says, he replies to this man, I didn't leave you. Those were my footsteps. During your difficult times and during storms, I was the one carrying you. So I really want all of you to really dive deep within. Stop, listen, look, pause, really pause. Whatever's happening outside, pause from that. Stop, look, and look within. Listen within. In times of difficulties, what was there? Sometimes angels, God shows in different forms. What is it that you feel was was this angel or this true God who was right beside you, carrying you? And it could be the smallest of incident or the smallest of helping hands that you received. So take a moment to pause, stop, look, listen. Become aware that during our storms, there sure was some helping hand. There was something that was carrying us, some power. Once you've done that, so the third thing is, as I just mentioned, stop, pause, listen, look. Now, draw two columns. You have a sheet of paper, draw two columns, write down what is in my control in one column, what is not in my control in the other column. And fill up these columns. What is in my control? What is it that I can do given the situation? First, you've identified the situation which is not making sense. Given that situation, now what you need to do is what is under your control, what is not under your control. So divide the sheet into two parts. One under my control, one what is it that I can't control? It is not within my capacity. So divide the sheet into two and take a moment, take about a minute to fill up these two columns. With no judgments, fill up these columns. And there could be list of things that are not in your control. That's okay. And there could be list of things that probably you could control. And that's also okay. Whatever is relevant for you, fill it up. Now, whatever you've written under what is in my control, think of some baby action steps. What is in your control? What is it that you can do? You can cry for help. You can pray for help. You can ask for help. You can do some affirmations. What is it that you can do? Baby action steps that you can do for things that are under your control, to resolve things that are under your control. So write down in that column, let's say column A is for under my control. For column A, write down baby action steps. Okay, let's do that. And it could be one action step, it could be several, doesn't matter. Whatever's coming to you for now in your capacity, write down exactly that. And now, whatever is not in your control, let's say that's the column B. What you need to do is surrender. Stop trying. What is not in your control, stop trying. Maybe you've tried really hard and you've got exhausted. Stop trying. It's not in your control. For whatever reasons. The beauty of not trying is you allow yourself to surrender and you kind of build your capacity for whatever is in your control. So for B, whatever is not in my control, I surrender. And by doing that, I build capacity and use that capacity for whatever is in my control. Now I'm no longer exhausted. I have mental, physical, emotional capacity to deal with whatever is in my control. Okay. So for column B, write down, I stop trying. I am going to stop trying and I choose surrender. There is beauty in surrender. Surrender is not giving up. Surrender is to stop trying because somebody is going to take care of you. There is some higher power in which, in whom, or in which we have faith, immense faith. Keeping that in mind, I'm surrendering. Please take care of me. I cannot manage this. I cannot control this. I now surrender. It's like it's like the parent, when the parent is putting the child, playing with the child, putting the child in the air. The child always knows the parent is going to catch me or hold me. It's the meaning of surrender is that it's not giving up. It's immense faith. So in column B, write down, stop trying and surrender. And now I want you all, that there are times when something doesn't make sense or it's not working. There is a feeling of helplessness that comes in, it creeps in. It's not working, it's not making sense, it's not working, it's not making sense. So we feel helpless. So take a moment, take a few deep breaths and release this feeling of helplessness. So I would like you all to close your eyes. Close your eyes, breathe deeply, and maybe we can all breathe with an ah sound. So breathe in, breathe out with an ah sound. This really helps. So breathe in faith and breathe out helplessness. Breathe in faith and breathe out any feeling of helplessness, anxiety, fear, whatever is this unpleasant feeling that you're experiencing. Breathe that out and become aware of any body sensations that you're feeling. Focus on these body sensations. With your breath, breathe out whatever feeling you have with respect to what is not working or what is not making sense. So long as you hold on to this feeling of helplessness, you will not be able to find peace. So breathe out this helplessness and create space for peace to flow in. So do that for about 10 breaths. Breathe in peace, breathe in joy, breathe in love, and breathe out all these feelings of helplessness. And see that you're feeling lighter. Become aware that yes, by doing this, I'm feeling much, much lighter. And gently, we can open our eyes. The other thing is, by doing this, we also build capacity to change our perspective. What do I mean by change the perspective? When I change the way I see, what I see changes. Write down this question. What is it that I'm seeing? Can I change my perspective? If I'm wearing a blue glass, a red color glass, I'm going to only see blue or red. Do I need to change my perspective? Is the color that I'm seeing is really blue? Is it really red? Is there a possibility for me to see differently? And sometimes perspectives help us, changing perspectives helps us to see things differently. So when we change the way we see, what we see changes. What is it that I need to change about my perspective? And it could be the tiniest thing. Doesn't matter. So take a moment to ask yourself and become aware. Where is it that I need to change? What do I need to change about myself? Okay. Now I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to show you something. 1 minute. Give me a minute. So if you see this image, it doesn't make sense, right? Because you're not seeing the whole picture. It's this picture is not making sense. Now I'm going to show you another picture, which is this, which is a flower pot, a beautiful flower pot. So what you saw earlier was a very tiny, minuscule part of this pot. So it obviously wasn't making sense. It wasn't making sense. Sorry, the other pictures come. So It wasn't making sense. But when you see the whole picture, it is making sense. So sometimes in life, this happens. We've not seen the whole picture and it does not make sense. We are seeing a minuscule part of it. Our logic is too tiny as compared to the entire framework. Our mind is too little. We cannot see the whole picture. Sometimes it just doesn't make sense. Why am I going through this? Why is my life messed up? Why do I have to lose my job? Why have I to fall sick? But you've not seen the whole picture. So let me share this one little story about this football player. His name is Arthur, not football player, sorry, tennis player. His name is Arthur Ashe. So he was detected with cancer. And then he asked God, why me? Why was I detected with cancer of all the people? I'm an ace tennis player. Why me? And then God tells him, you didn't ask me. Out of millions of people, you were the one who had the potential to play tennis. That time you didn't ask me why me. When you got selected from the millions of people to play tennis in the competition, that time you didn't ask me why me. When you won so many medals, you didn't ask ever why me. But when you got cancer, you're now asking why me. So sometimes life is like this. Our logical mind is too little. We are not able to understand and we're stuck with why me. The beauty is when you drop this why me, the whole picture appears. So I'm going to share my own personal story. I know I keep sharing my story of last year when I went through cerebral aneurysm, brain hemorrhage. But because that was such a important or such a vital part of my life, because when I went through this hemorrhage, it was like, why me? Not that I questioned my husband, everybody at home. Why my mom? Why Geeta? My husband was in a mess. But when I came back home, I was full of gratitude. I was like, thank God you chose me for this. When you're going through, of course, when I was going through my 10 days of ICU, there was a lot of pain. I couldn't understand what was happening because I was in the journey. But once the journey ended and I saw back what happened, the change of my perspective, the change of everything, it was like, thank God you selected me for this. Because with the hemorrhage, literally everything dropped. All my old patterns, all the shit dropped. And I came back as a new, absolute new Geeta. So, yes, it's not easy when you're going through tough situations. It's not easy. It's not easy when you are not able to understand. It's not making sense. It's okay. It's okay if it doesn't make sense because you've not seen the whole picture. It's not making sense to you. Exactly like the two images that I shared with you. The other thing, what you need to find is peace. The topic today is finding peace when nothing is making sense, right? So sometimes we look for peace or we look for joy and happiness in places where we'll never find. Again, I'm going to share a little story about this person who loses his house keys. He loses his house keys and it's dark, it's in the night. And he goes about 5 kilometers from his house and looks for his keys under the lamppost, street lamppost. So the passerby asks him, what are you doing? He says, I'm looking for my house keys, I've lost them. The passerby says, don't you think you should be looking close to where you stay? But he says, it's very dark out there, which is why I've come to the lamppost to look for my house keys. Do you think he's ever going to find his house keys there? Of course not. So life is like that. So again, take a moment to close your eyes. Close your eyes. Now ask yourself this very simple question. What am I looking for? What is my need? What do I want? What am I looking for? And take a moment to get the real answer. Go to the deeper layer of your needs. What is it that you're really looking for? What is it that you really need? Is it peace? Is it love? Is it belonging? Is it joy? Is it health? What is it? What am I looking for? And once you have this real answer for yourself, now ask yourself the second crucial, important, simple question. Where am I looking for it? Am I looking at the right places? Sometimes the most fulfilling moments are the simplest of moments. What really gives me that deep peace? What gives me the real joy? What gives me real belonging? What are the simple things that nourish me, that fulfill me? And the answers could be very simple. A hug, a smile, a simple meal with your family, a yoga asana, breath of fresh air, a walk, a nice cozy bed. What gives me that real joy, real belonging, real peace? Find your own answer. And when you're ready, open your eyes and write down these questions and these answers. What do I need? Where can I find it? Am I looking at the right places? Okay, once you've written, the final thing is enjoy the journey. Enjoy the roller coaster ride, because that's also the journey, right? Life is never the same. Life is a roller coaster ride. So enjoy the journey. This too shall pass. Nothing is permanent, like literally nothing. Such is life. So can I just enjoy moment by moment, every moment? Okay. So let's take a recap of what is it that we learned today, or what is it that we understood today. The topic was finding peace when nothing works or when nothing makes sense. So first is become aware of what is not making sense or what is it that's not working. Then see if it is really not working. Become aware that probably it is working. Third is make two columns. What is in my control? What is not in my control? A and B. For what is in my control, take baby steps, baby action steps. For what is not in my control, column B, surrender. Next is let go of the feeling of helplessness. Create space for peace. Change your perspective if that's possible. When we change what we see changes. See the whole tapestry, see the whole thing if possible. Don't analyze everything with your logical sense. It may not make sense. Uh, where are you looking for peace? Are you looking for peace in the wrong places? That's the next thing. Last thing, enjoy the journey. Even the roller coaster ride, enjoy it. So, this was the session today. Anybody wants to say something or ask something or share something, we'll just take 2 questions. We are like 6:35. So, just 2 people, or you could probably post on the group or on the chat. That's also fine. Anybody wants to ask something, share something? I'll wait for another minute for anybody to share or say something or ask something. So, Guru, since the session was your request, how was the session for you? Guru, if you could unmute yourself and share what is your take back, or what is it that whether this session worked for you?
Geeta, yes, I think it is useful, and it's given me, food for thought for sure. And I feel that, you know, uh, quite a bit of what you have said is uh, quite a bit of what you have said is things that I have been attempting to do, but you have kind of encapsulated it very well in this half an hour.
Yes.
So for me, I think it's very useful, especially the part where you mentioned about this breathing eight in and breathing out helplessness, and also exploring a little bit more into this whole concept of surrender, which is a very deep concept, and we don't understand it during an entire lifetime or even many lifetimes. So I think that is these thoughts and these ideas have been very, very useful.
Thank
Thank
you.
you very much. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Yeah.
everybody. Thank you, and I shall see you next Sunday.
Okay. Thank you, Geeta. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank
Thank you.